All right, so my name is Michael DeLu, and you are tuned in to Pull Up the Tape. All right, for the majority of the people who usually do listen to this podcast, I know it's not many. Yeah, I know you guys. I don't think you guys. I don't know if you guys noticed or didn't notice or whatever, but I didn't start off today's show by screaming into the mic, "Let's go," because I'm actually recording at home, and yeah, I don't want to be loud as I can, or as loud as I can be when I'm in the studio. So. Yeah, so thank you for listening, tuning in. I'm gonna go through my usual politics before I get into my main politics. For those of you guys who are listening to this podcast via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SoundCloud, do me a big favor and share this podcast with anybody that you know that loves sports. Okay, anybody you know. I say this all the time: your mom, your brother, your sister, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your coach, your teammate, the water boy, the equipment manager. Share this podcast with anybody you know that loves basketball, football, soccer, MMA, and sometimes I even discuss baseball like I will today, honestly. And if you're watching this podcast on my YouTube channel, do me a solid favor. Okay? It takes a couple seconds. Leave a comment under this video. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification. All these things only take a couple seconds, so there's no reason why you shouldn't do it. And it's going to help me tremendously. So help me out. Help me help you. I'm going to keep producing fire content regardless. So, I mean, it would just make more sense for you to tune in, okay? So to get into my first topic today, and it's honestly a really disturbing one. And this is just, I don't really feel bad by saying this, but this is why all the other major leagues in the United States are passing up the MLB. The MLB is run by clowns. Okay, the Major League Baseball has become an absolute joke. Rob Manfred, you're an idiot. And the reason why I said that, I'm saying this, is because the report came out that Joe Kelly was suspended for 8 games. Okay, for his role in what transpired on Tuesday night in the Dodgers versus Astros game. It was almost a bench clearing brawl because one specific Astro player took offense to Joe Kelly's pitching, which one of his pitches almost hit him in the head. I will say this first before I then start to dig into the Astros and the MLB for just looking like clowns over and over and over again. Only one of Joe Kelly's pitches I thought was, dangerous and actually could have, done some damage. Other than that, some of the other pitches were, I don't know. I mean, I think those dudes, even if they would have got hit, they would have been fine. So I will say that, the Correa pitch, I can see, that was around the head area, 94 miles per hour, and that could have really done some damage. Like, could have honestly killed him if we're really being 100. But it didn't. Okay, so it didn't. That's the whole reason why I don't think there should even be any suspension. Like that just makes no sense. So the MLB is wrong for suspending him. Again, only one of his pitches I will say were absolutely dangerous. And for those of you who are wondering why Kelly seemed to be so fired up, although he wasn't on the Dodgers team in 2017, well, he wasn't. For those of you who don't know, he wasn't on the Dodgers team in 2017, but he was on the Boston Red Sox team, and they lost to the Astros in the same postseason. So if you're stealing signs in the World Series, I'm assuming you're doing it in the wild card, the divisional round, the conference round. I mean, duh. And obviously, and it happened the same postseason. So I can see why he would be upset and would be licking at the chops to play against these dudes and honestly just throw pitches at them. The craziest thing about all this is his punishment for almost hitting someone was worse than the Astros' punishment for stealing a championship. Honestly, the MLB just looks bad. They look goofy, look like a joke. I mean, they're protecting cheaters, and it just really, I don't know. It's kind of baffling to me, if we're really being honest and 100, that they would even act like this. And this is why year in year we see the MLB's ratings going down and just like blase. It's one thing or the other. The commissioner's an idiot. 2017 champions are literally thieves. They stole a championship. They are thieves. They stole a championship. It just doesn't make sense to me. And honestly, I don't really care. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to say I encourage other teams to act in the same way that Joe Kelly did, but if they were to, I could not be mad. Straight up. Couldn't be mad. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Couldn't be mad. So, to get into my next topic, I seen on First Take and Get Up on Wednesday. Again, I don't like reacting to nonsense, but hey, I mean, this is how I'm going to pay my bills in the future and feed my family. So if I got to react to some horrible takes, it is what it is. Speaking of horrible takes, I think Kendrick Perkins is the championship of horrible takes. He's absolutely he might be one. He might honestly have CTE. But speaking of CTE, let me get into my next topic, which is Cameron Jabril Newton. So, like I said, on First Take and Get Up on Wednesday, yesterday, there was a segment where they discussed Carson Wentz and Cam Newton, as both of them were left off the top 100 this year. And honestly, let me be the first to say the top 100 is a joke anyways. It's been a joke since they first started it. I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's not really the most credible. My thing is, it's not really the most credible ranking system because they only ask X amount of players, and how they do it is they just give the players a piece of paper, and then they write down who they think the top 20 players in the league are. So then whoever gets the most, that's how they get the sorting for the top 100. So obviously, whoever gets the most votes, like whose name appears on the ballot the most, will get the first will be the best player, the number one, and so on and so forth. So 1 through 100. So I always thought, it was based on last season. And that's what it seems like, because, you'll see like somebody who's injured be high one year, and the next year they're not very high, or see somebody who played bad high one year, and the next year see somebody who played good one year, played bad played good one year, and then had a drop off season the next year, and they're not even on the list. So with that being said, and you'll see people who are injured not make it to the list or whatever, or just different stuff like that. So that's why I don't really understand what the outrage with Cam Newton is. My man's only played 2 games last year. Why should he be on the list? And I seen people saying, oh, he's the 2016 MVP, 2015, 2016 MVP. They went to Super Bowl. I'm like, 4 years ago. Like, what? Like, bro, there's no argument for Cam Newton to be on this list. Carson Wentz, on the other hand, I already said why he should be on the list yesterday, but Cam Newton, no. Yes, he was disrespected. Yes, all the stuff that happened to him this offseason was bad, shouldn't have happened, and blase, but I don't know. I am not surprised that he's not on the list. I don't think he even deserves to be on the list. Like, let's keep it 100. Like, I think Dak deserves to be on the list ahead of him because Dak played a full season. I don't understand what the actual issue is. You have to play to be in the top 100. If you play 2 games, not even a half of a season, you're not making the list. And for sure, around the time this happened, I don't know. Like, I mean, COVID, X, Y, and Z. I'm not trying to create excuses for it. I mean, I don't think anybody should create excuses. I mean, he doesn't deserve to be on this list. Like, do I think he is a top 100 player? Yes. Did he prove that last season? No. So that's why he's not on the list. think it's pretty simple and self-explanatory. Like, you have to play to get on the list. So there shouldn't be any outrage or any going back and forth as to why. There's no debate on this, honestly. Leave it alone. He doesn't deserve to be on the list. Got a really short podcast for you guys today. To get into my last topic of today is the NBA. Okay, so we're just a couple hours away from tip off for the first game, the Pelicans versus the Jazz, and then afterwards we got the Lakers playing the Clippers. And I want to say I'm very, very excited. Like, I really, really, really want to scream, but I can't because that's how excited I am. Like, I remember when the idea of a bubble even came out, I was just like, I don't know if that's going to work. And I was just like, blase. You know, I was just like, damn, are the players even going to be up for it? And then it just seemed like the consensus of the players was like, all right, let's finish this season. Like, we want to crown a champion, which I'm so happy because, you know, my Lakers will win the championship. And, you know, I was supposed to, honestly, this time, in a perfect world, I would have already celebrated the Lakers' 18th championship already because it would have happened almost 2 months ago. No, almost a month ago, actually. It would happen almost a month ago on Figueroa. I would have been loaded off the dosent with a Cuban in my hand, shirt off, melanin glistening in the LA sun during the summer. Oh, going crazy. What? All my life. I've been balling up, grinding all my life. All that. Slapping nib, all that. Some 2-4 jerseys in the streets, all that, going crazy. But we don't live in a perfect world. So I have to but regardless of that, I'm happy that the season is back officially in a couple hours and we actually get live competitive basketball. And honestly, I can't complain. Soccer's back. Soccer's been back. Basketball's back. Football season's happening, even though a bunch of people are opting out, and that's going to be my last topic of today. UFC never left, to be honest. Baseball's back. For those of you who watch it, I'm not really the biggest baseball fan. I mean, I guess I'm a Dodger fan because I live in LA, but I mean, yeah. So, really excited about that. Once again, I want to give a round of applause to the NBA and their executives and the commissioner, not David Stern. That's the old commissioner, Adam Silver. I just want to give they deserve a round of applause for all their efforts in combating COVID and taking the stance that they did when it comes to Black Lives Matter movement and just every single thing that's happening right now. I want to thank them tremendously. Like, you guys have made me so happy, giving me more content to talk about on my podcast because, you know, the past X, Y, and Z, I just been talking about reports and what's going to happen in the future. But now it's finally time to, like, critique basketball. Like, I'm about to be like, oh, yeah, this person had this many rebounds. Oh, yeah, let's get it. I'm about to turn into a beast. Beast mode. Activated. Get activated or get hurt. Ooh. Good off a perk. Woo. So, to my last topic. NFL players are opting out at a higher, like, just more and more are starting to opt out, and I understand exactly why, because why not? Like, training camp started on July 28th, and that was actually the latest camp reporting date for all veterans and camp for it to start this year. As already reported, preseason has been canceled, and the regular season is scheduled to start on September 10th when the Chiefs host the Texans. NFL players have reportedly until August 4th, after CBA's side letter of the matter is finalized, to decide whether they're going to opt in, or opt out and earn their, like, you know, so they have until August 4th to decide whether they're going to play or not. And if they choose to opt in, then they'll get paid their salary. If they choose to opt out, they'll get paid $150,000. And more players like Marquise Goodwin, Damian Williams, the most notable, are opting out. And what Marquise Goodwin posted on his Instagram page really stuck out to me and, like touched me on an emotional level. He put his daughter into the camera and and he said, "This is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm not doing it." He said he's been selfish and hasn't been. Well, I'm just gonna paraphrase what he said. I watched it, but I don't want to quote him on anything. I don't want to get anybody to get offended or anything like that. He said, there's been times in the past where he hasn't chosen his family first. And for those of you who don't know, Marquise Goodwin lost his son at an infant age. I think it was just last year. So obviously I can see why and then, his daughter means a lot, and his wife has had several miscarriages. So, family is at the very high of his priority list. And I can't blame him for feeling the way he feels. Like, you always got to, you got to put your family, you got God first, God, family, God and family. God and your family should come first over anything. So for those of players who feel like they don't want to put their families in danger of, anything, don't opt out. Who cares? So what? At the end of the day, these individuals are human beings too. Just because they happen to live their life in the spotlight and, make so much money than others, it doesn't mean they don't get affected by the same things we get affected by. When you're rich, your family members just don't stop dying. They don't not die. You know what I mean? When you're rich, your family members, stuff still happens to you. You can still get depressed. You can still be you can still be overweight. Just life happens. And I would never want to be in a situation where my pursuit of money and capital is going to impact any of my family members' life in a positive way, in a negative way. So I anticipate more and more players opting out, like Damian Williams, players of higher profile. And I'm not too sure. I obviously I know that the NFL season is still going to happen, but it's going to be definitely an ultra season because of the fact that, a lot of we're yet to see. We'll find out. We'll find out in a couple of days, the final verdict. I want to thank you guys for listening to my podcast today. I'm really excited for the growth, for just everything. Honestly, I don't want to talk anybody's ear off right now. Just want to quickly end this, and I can get to preparing for these games in a couple hours. For those of you who are watching this podcast on YouTube, do me a quick favor. Just leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're already not. Hit the bell notification. If you're listening to this podcast on any of the platforms that I stream on, share this podcast with anybody you know that loves sports. Come on now, it's not hard, bro. Just share it. Share it. Share. Keep sharing. Share us again. Share again. Share. Keep sharing. Share this podcast with anybody you know that loves sports, okay? Help me shake up the room. Bow. Movie. Viral. Arrgh.